20 years ago this morning, I was woken up by my little sister banging on the front door of my home in Meridian, Idaho. She was crying and shouting for me to turn on the TV. I turned it on just in time to see a plane crash into the South Tower of the World Trade Center at 7:03 a.m. local time. There was no doubt that our nation was under attack. My sister and I watched the news for the next hour, and as the towers fell and millions of Americans witnessed thousands of our countrymen turn to dust and rubble on live TV. At the same time, reports were coming out about the attack on the Pentagon and the plane crash in Pennsylvania. I'd already finished my stint in the military. You see, I joined the Marine Corps in 1994, and then I did a tour of duty in the U.S. Army, and by 2001, I was out of the military and trying to finish my bachelor's degree at Boise State University. But 20 years ago this morning, I knew that my country needed me for another tour of duty. I re-enlisted in the Idaho Army National Guard as part of the 183rd Attack Helicopter Battalion. I wanted to avenge the 2,977 souls that were murdered that morning in September. And how did we choose to remember those souls? In the days after the attacks, Congress passed a resolution conceding unilateral authority to the President of the United States to make war against anyone, at any time, at any cost, for any length of time, anywhere in the world. Our government used that to invade Afghanistan, where I was deployed for 18 months. And then we invaded Iraq, which had nothing to do with 9/11. And then we invaded and bombed half a dozen other countries that weren't even involved in the 9/11 attacks either. Meanwhile, we stayed in Afghanistan for another 20 years. After Al-Qaeda was decimated, after Osama bin Laden was dead, and after we had any conceivable national security interest remaining in Afghanistan at all. And at what cost? What have 20 years of endless war, foreign occupation, and nation building ever given you? I'm surrounded by the bodies and headstones of my neighbors, of people who, like me, put on the uniform but weren't lucky enough to come home in anything but a flag-draped coffin. Our great-grandchildren will be paying the interest on the trillions of dollars that we borrowed to pay for the invasions of these that killed these soldiers. And those are the costs that are just the easiest to see. There is a quote by the great Republican Senator Robert Taft, and he said this: "If in the great field of foreign policy the president has the arbitrary and unlimited power he now claims, then there is an end to freedom in the United States, not only in the foreign field, but in the great realm of domestic activity which necessarily follows any foreign commitments." The heirs of our foreign policy, they don't stay abroad. They blow back here at home. And when you get hassled and harassed at the airport, that's the consequence of our wars. When the government listens to your phone calls and monitors your speech, that's a consequence of our wars. And when you go on vacation and foreigners give you dirty looks and disrespect, that's a consequence of our wars. And when your president believes that he has the power to make unilateral, dictatorial decisions over you and your family, that's the consequence of our wars. 2.5 years ago, I founded an organization to fix this, to pull back our nation from the brink. And I am one of a supermajority of American veterans who believe that we must bring our troops home from these illegal, wasteful, and endless wars in the Middle East and Africa. BringOurTroopsHome.us is a pro-veteran, pro-Constitution group that believes in an America First foreign policy. Now I'm asking you, with all the urgency that I can muster, help us restore the republic that is our birthright as Americans. We're up against the most powerful institution in the world, the empire, which is centered in Washington, D.C., the murderess of that very republic that is our birthright. Go to 107club.com and sign up for a recurring donation. $10 is all it takes, and you'll be an official member of our supporters group. Every cent goes to spreading our message, lobbying legislators in all 50 states, and ensuring that our namesake mission succeeds, that we bring our troops home and we never send them back into combat again unless Congress has first done their constitutional duty to declare war. On this 20th anniversary of September 11th attacks, I choose to honor the memory of the fallen by fighting for the very republic that they lived in and fought for, not for the empire that replaced it. This is Sergeant Dan McKnight signing off. God bless and Godspeed.